Apple TV and Sports, the Vision Pro app, and Jane Goodall. This is Mac Voices. Mac Voices is supported by MacVoices Magazine, our free magazine on Flipboard and on the web. Want to cut through all the noise and find out what you can do with your Apple gear? MacVoices Magazine focuses on just that, aggregating the best how-to articles and information. Get it by searching for Mac Voices in the Flipboard app or visiting macvoices.com/magazine. Who's going to buy a U.S. Mint $1 American Innovation coin honoring Mr. Jobs?
I want it.
Yeah, I'll probably get one.
I'm getting the whole set.
There's a set?
Yeah. Every year there's the innovation set. And because Wisconsin is in it, and who are the other ones? Iowa and somebody else.
So, it's based on state.
Is it true there's one for Gil Amelio, but it's only a nickel?
Yeah, Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, and California.
That's it?
California, Steve Jobs.
Well, they do
I thought they would have done like all the states.
Well, they only do a few each year. This innovation series, it'll continue over, 10 years or something. A few states a year.
Like the quarters.
Yeah.
This is going to sound horrible, but I'm looking at the photo of the coin. And if you'd shown this to me before we started talking about this, no context, I would have thought it was Jane Goodall.
Who?
Yeah, okay. I could see that.
I could, that's scary, but I can too.
Yeah.
Yes.
The turtleneck has too many wrinkles in it.
Yeah.
He would never wear a turtleneck with that.
And he's a little jowly in the
I think it's a turtleneck. Yeah. It's jowly.
Yeah, it's just strange. I mean, I get, because I read about what the I guess the inspiration, not just Jobs, but the way he was portrayed, and younger Jobs, and it feels very California, sitting cross-legged in a field with trees and flowers around, and that's fine.
I would have had him up against the screen showing 3 different devices: an internet device, a phone, and a music player.
Now, are those apple trees in the background?
No. It's oak. Oak-covered rolling hills.
Oh, Eric read it. I thought for a second, man, Eric, you can tell the tree from that? That was good. I was impressed.
It's that, the form of the tree and
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no,
so wait, it's a dollar coin, but it's $13.25 for a $1 coin.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's the set.
I'm in the wrong business
for the whole set.
The set of 4.
Yeah,
I'm in the wrong business.
Is it for sale now?
No, this is next year's coin.
And it's legal tender, as a matter of fact, as well.
Yeah. So if you wait long enough and the economy is bad enough, you can find these in circulation.
So hold on. There are people that will pay $13.25 or whatever to then later use that same coin as a dollar.
If you get hungry enough, yeah.
Or they're great in poker games. I'll raise you one Jane Goodall to
Steve Jobs.
Well, and the other thing is, because they come out with states, a lot of times, like casinos in the state or other businesses in the state will order bags of the state dollar coin to hand out as gifts or whatever.
Mm.
To make money.
Yeah, well, the mint things have always been a collector's deal.
Right.
I mean, because how many times have you seen, back as long as I can remember, the Franklin Mint version honoring this person.
God.
Yeah.
And people buy them, because there's that whole collecting thing.
I had an aunt that collected those plates.
Oh yeah.
After she passed away, we went into her house. There was like 50 boxes unopened.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was a nightmare.
It's like the Columbia Record Club.
Yeah, I remember that.
Say what you
for a penny.
My God, you'll get that Bon Jovi CD.
Say what you will about Franklin Mints, but do not talk badly about Beanie Babies.
What about the mini Beanie Babies?
Is there? No, never mind. Moving on, because this is another one of those. Have you noticed there's certain parts of conversations that come up on this show where you can walk right up to the cliff, you can look over it and then see what's going on and say, no, we're going elsewhere.
No,
this
that's
is one
you.
of this is one of those moments.
We walk up right behind you, Chuck.
Yeah.
Kick you in the butt and knock you right off the edge.
Well, there have been times.
We run off these cliffs.
Yeah.
Chuck, we Thelma and Louise these cliffs.
And never show it actually hit.
Brian, help me out with this one, the next one, please, because you're the sports guy, and we have another article that says that the Apple Sports app just got better again for NFL and college football fans.
Yeah, I had an opportunity to take a look at this the other day, and it was nice to see that live update when you're looking at the your phone on the lock screen. It'll have there now the little progress bar of where the ball is relative to the goal line, and so it's pretty neat. It's nice to see. It's one of those nice things that you don't have to open the full app to be able to enjoy. So it's helpful. A couple of the other competing apps have done this for a little while, but it's always welcome on the Apple Sports app.
So, Jeff, just pretend you're not here. Is anybody actively
in my life?
Is anybody here actively using the Apple Sports app?
Yeah, I am.
Other than Brian, are you? Okay.
I am too.
Okay. All right, good. Good.
What I found was I had too many favorited teams because it was like nonstop announcements on games coming up that were playing on Sunday or playing on Saturday. So I had to kind of pare back my favorites so I wouldn't be pestered so much.
As much.
Yeah. That too.
Cletus in
Thanks,
the chat.
Mom.
Yeah. Cletus in the chat says he has too. I played with it a little bit, but Marty, same thing. I found that it was alerting me a few too many times, and I just had to dial it back because I care, but not that much. So, Jeff, what sports were you following?
Tiddlywinks?
Yeah, may the odds ever be in your favor.
Water soccer.
Water soccer. Yep. Olympic water balloon fights.
I'd follow that.
Yeah, I would too.
Right?
Hey, every time beach volleyball comes up, I'm right there.
Beer pong. Beer pong would be a perfect one.
Full contact golf.
Hurling.
Hurling, yeah.
Hurling?
Oh.
Hurling. Or hurling.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you hurl,
it's never, oh my God.
Okay.
No, don't go.
We need to move on.
The low quality beer brands sponsor that.
No, I was in Scotland when they had a big hurling tournament going on. Seriously.
Did you
Is that where
participate?
they throw the trees?
No. It was a sport sort of like the Harry Potter thing. Actually, the Harry Potter thing was kind of based on that sport.
This is really going to mess up my my Google algorithm.
Go in privacy mode or incognito.
Too late.
Yeah. Brian, though, you put in our private chat that you went to the Packers-Cardinals game Sunday, and there were delays between, I guess, what was happening on the field and the updates from the app. What kind of delays are we talking about?
Oh, I didn't time it, but it was, you would see something happen on the field, and then you would get the alert that the score changed, or there was a possession change, or the end of the quarter, and things like that. That happen you don't notice them as much. I mean, a little bit on TV, depending on, usually I'll get the app notification first, and then I see it change on TV. But going live, obviously, unless it can predict the future, it's going to happen on the field in front of your eyes. So.
Yeah, I was just more interested in, I guess, what the logistics were of getting that information out, and how quickly. I mean, are we talking, seconds? Are we talking minutes? Are we talking a lot of minutes?
It seemed like seconds to me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's those new live stream type apps have been much quicker. When I was at the Chiefs game, I was following others during the NFL games, and you got pretty real world time of what was going on in the games. But then you'd be watching the TV there, and the NBC feed was like 20 seconds behind watching the game. So.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they kind of have to do that, though, because a lot of times they're like right in coaches' faces and they're talking about what the next play is going to be and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, and with the gambling situation the way it is now, I mean, too many seconds could mean a whole lot of money changing hands in one direction or the other.
The NFL has ever made.
Well, I'm not going to argue that, guy. That's the sports gambling is a whole other discussion we won't get into. Hey, Web is back.
Woohoo!
Am I?
I think so.
I apologize. I hope this is better. So I just kind of rebooted everything, Zoom update. And what I did was I upgraded to Tahoe on this machine, and everything went to hell in a handbasket. So. And it just needs to settle down a little bit. So,
yeah.
Mac OS Big Lake now with more Vista.
Web, if you don't mind sharing, like how long ago did you update?
Over the weekend.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't just a few hours. Okay.
No, but I hadn't been up on the machines. First time I used this machine since I did the update. So,
okay.
Have you gotten to the F1 story yet?
I was saving it for you. In fact, I skipped over it because I wanted your take on this. That Apple is the new home for F1 racing in the U.S. Starting in 2026. Web, take it away. Tell us what we need to know.
I hope they do something with Apple Vision Pro, because then I can get Marty off my ass to buy one. So
I will never get off your ass.
Yeah, well,
even if you buy one.
It'll be exciting. It's I'd mentioned on the Slack chat, the general chat, that I did enjoy the last couple of years when it's been on ESPN, but ESPN really just rebroadcast the Sky One broadcast from England, and they just rebroadcast that. I liked it because they actually had people on the ground. Before it was on ESPN, it was on NBC, and then going way back to Speed Channel before that, and they just had two guys sitting in a studio. I think in Connecticut, and they were just commenting on the international feed. So they weren't at the race. They didn't have anybody on the ground. And I thought that was really disappointing to me as a fan. And it was a production cost issue. And the other thing that's happened, though, is that Formula One has really exploded in the United States as far as their fan base. They only had they didn't have any races for a while. Then they had some in Indianapolis. David, you saw my conference room, the big picture that I had from the Indianapolis races. So I'm personally really excited. I think Apple could do some things. It'll be interesting to see how they do the broadcast. If you remember when they started the baseball thing last season, not this year, but last year, it didn't get the biggest round of applause on their coverage. Now they matured and got better at it. The other thing that I thought was interesting was that it's going to be part of the base plan for the Apple TV, and not like the MLS where it was an add-on. And I think that's going to put a lot of pressure on MLS, quite honestly, to do that. Now, the other thing that I thought was interesting, getting on to the soccer conversation, was when Lionel Messi came to the United States to play in Miami. Apple paid half his salary.
Really?
Yeah. And I thought that was interesting. So that's why Apple made it a subscription, because Lionel Messi was, he's the current Pele, and it just gets hundreds of millions of dollars, maybe not hundreds of millions, but tens of millions of dollars to play here. And like I said, Apple kind of did that to gain some interest in their service. I thought that was interesting too. But Formula One thing, it'll be exciting. Any of you that watched the movie got to see some of the intricacies of Formula One racing. I think it'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm anxious because Webb, what you said about the commentators not being on the ground. I'm hoping that's not going to be the case here, that, we're going to have some commentary from American commentators for American audiences, taking nothing away from the UK or anyone else's commentary, but it's just it just feels like there's a different attitude here than there is over there, and maybe it can generate even more interest here. So I think it's a good thing, and it's one more of those sports indications that Apple is interested in sports.
Yeah.
So,
if you go back if you want to get on YouTube and look at some old F1 races, they used to have a commentator that was on the BBC when F1 was there in Europe. His name is Murray Walker, and he was hilarious because he said some of the weirdest stuff that you can imagine. So anyway, if you want to get back into history, listen to Murray Walker on old BBC broadcasts. He's really interesting. So,
anybody else want to add anything to the F1 story? Just wait and see.
Okay. Yeah, I'd be interested in seeing where
I know
it goes.
Gaz is like huge into F1.
What was his take on it?
He goes to Silverstone when they have their big F1 race there. He's done it every year.
Well, Webb brought up the MLS, and that was sort of the next article that we sort of have a run of sports articles here. But the playoff matches are free to all Apple TV subscribers. I think this is really an interesting tack Apple is taking, that, for some of the most popular games, matches, that they are, really trying to grow the audience a little bit by giving them a taste of it. Now, will that result in more subscriptions or more loyal fans? I don't know.
Well, I think the whole point of it is just to try to get people more interested in MLS soccer. People that were already into football, for the most part, have kind of dissed the whole American football scene, because it's, we're kind of the Johnny-come-latelys when it comes to European football. And even when some of our better teams go out, they get soundly trashed most of the time. But our level of play is getting better, because there's a lot more homegrown talent that grew up with it or came to this country, and that was the game that they played. They didn't play American football. They didn't play baseball. They played the easiest game that there was in whatever area of the world it was that they grew up in, which was a ball and a guy standing between two little posts so that they could get their game on. And that was European football.
Jeff?
I'll point out that I'm the guy here. We've established I'm not into the spectator sport thing. On a side note, every time I've gone to a live event, I've had an absolutely wonderful time. But they're like fantastic social events, and that's why. That said, this is a super smart move. You want to get people more interested and more aware that Apple is a legit service for your live sports. Then you give them a taste, and this is a great way to do it.
Yep.
Barry in the chat room says, "I wonder what an F1 related fitness post workout will look like."
From one end of your exercise mat to the other in 0.005 seconds.
And watch out for the turns.
What? Oh, yeah. There was actually, oh God, there was an article, I think it was in Car and Driver, where they compared the Chevy Beretta, if you remember that car.
Oh my God, I owned one of those.
Yeah, I did too. To an actual Italian Beretta rifle. And that was one of the comments that they made, that, you know, the Italian Beretta was so much faster, but it did not turn well.
Ironically, neither did the Chevy Beretta.
Yeah. I had a lot of fun in that car, though. Never mind. We're getting off topic.
Yeah. That's another one of those right to the edge and then stop.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay, so this one is for Marty and Eric and David, because I want to know what your thoughts are on the Apple Vision Pro app coming to iPad.
Well, we talked a little bit about that last night, and I tried it on, put the new operating system on, or upgraded the operating system, and sure enough, it popped up on my iPad. And the articles about it claims it does a lot more than I could find it doing. And in that sense, it was a little disappointing in terms of what we've all been hoping will happen with the app, which was iOS. And now the iOS interface looks very similar to the iPad OS interface. And the big thing is, you can't just search all of the apps that run on Vision OS or those that only run on Vision OS and use it as a way to find new apps. The apps are introduced by category. They're curated by Apple. And I just think it's, I don't know, they oversold it in most of the articles on this. Now, maybe it'll evolve. Who knows? And I don't know if between last night and tonight, if Eric or Dave has had any chance to play with it.
I have not tried it yet. You have to be on beta to do it on. I don't have beta on my iPad at this point, so.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why they didn't have this way back when they brought out the iOS version. They should have had it in both places.
Yeah.
So
Well, the iOS version was kind of disappointing. It was more like an app with ads for it was the app that had ads for apps that you should get. It really wasn't. The nice thing about it was you could switch to it and find out your device number and serial number and all of that stuff. So it gave you that connection. Why it couldn't be built into an app that would know what apps you already have stored on it and, your library of apps, and then open it up to other apps that you might want besides those few that are curated by Apple. It just, I don't know,
I think that you're missing one of the purposes of the app, which is for people who bought a Vision Pro and then weren't using it a lot or didn't have it with them, so that you could see, oh, yeah, there's a new app out, or there's a new thing I hadn't thought of before. So you get kind of the new in Vision OS, but you get it on your phone and now on the iPad. If you followed a Reddit group where they give a link to an app, you could click on it and then download it. So the next time you put on your Vision Pro, it would be available. And it does seem to accomplish that. Yeah, it could do more, certainly, but I want at least this much.
I want it to be good enough that Web will finally buy a Vision Pro.
Don't forget he had a bad day, Marty.
I know.
We just
What
have to
better
wait.
way to
when the manicular version comes out.
yeah?
Then-
What better way to make your day better than to drop $3,500 on a headset?
Guy, I now have this image in my head of the monocular style, and it's like the
Link from
minion thing
Hogan's
where it's
Heroes.
just like this big circle right here.
Oh God!
So is
Yep.
this serious question? Is this a case of everybody trying to just figure out ways to do the whole spatial computing thing? Because Eric, something I didn't realize because I don't have a Vision Pro is that this could, in theory, act almost as a stepping stone to using your Vision Pro when you're not able to use your Vision Pro,
Right.
or it's not appropriate to use your Vision Pro. So is this just part of building out the ecosystem?
Yeah, and giving more exposure of apps to people who have Vision Pros, because a lot of people don't wear their Vision Pro for work. They don't take it with them all the time. And you come across an article or something pops up about some new app, and before you had to wait until you got your Vision Pro, put it on, remember that there was this app you wanted to purchase or try out or look at, and this lets you quickly add it to your list of apps without really even thinking about it. And the next time you put your Vision Pro on, it's already there. It's a lot more convenient.
Okay. So it's a step. It sounds like, again, I'm not a Vision Pro owner. It sounds like a step, though, in the right direction for ease of use.
Yes.
Because probably more than most Apple products, the Vision Pro requires a bit of a commitment because you've got to put it on and then do it that way, as opposed to just flipping a lid up on your MacBook or pulling out your phone. So this would seem to make a lot of sense to me from what you're saying.
Well, people always have a phone with them, and some people have an iPad with them almost the same amount as they have a phone. So, and most people don't have the Vision Pro on as much as they have a phone or an iPad.
Is this app
So-
available on Android as well?
Was that a serious
Okay,
question?
that's a legit question. And the reason I'm asking is because Eric is right. Everyone has a phone with them all the time. But the number of people that I know that use a Mac but have an Android phone is surprisingly high. But a lot of those people have an iPad as well.
So then they would use this on their iPad.
Yeah. So am I correct in assuming there isn't an Android version of the app?
I don't think so. There's a different headset that probably costs just as much. If you have an Android, you probably want to go with that.
Yeah. And Marty, you say there's something coming from Samsung tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern?
Tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern on the Samsung website, YouTube site. They're going to be streaming an announcement of their new headset. They call it Project Wuhan. So we'll be finding out about what the Vision Pro killer is supposed to be.
Should be interesting.
Eric almost did a spit take.
Yeah. Well, maybe in After Dark we'll all head over to the YouTube channel and heckle them in their chat.
So I just did a Google search on that, and it looks like all the images of what this thing is going to be are already out there.
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit. I think Dave pointed out there, or Eric, is that some of these have been in the wild already with test sets. So the guess is that, because the image we looked at, it was like, that looks an awful lot like a Vision Pro had a baby with a Meta strap. Meta has like a Pro strap that you can buy that's separate, that is a cage for the back of your occipital lobe. And Dave said this could very well be in the actual picture of the device because they've been out.
And well, that plastic cone
Yeah.
for light blocking.
Mm-hmm.
That looks like that's going to be super comfortable.
Well, I just want to hear the price because I don't think they're going to be underselling it.
It'll be $33.99.
Yeah. So, yeah, the app is, I wish it did more. Of course, I've got my own reasons for it wanting to do more with the podcast, but I get Eric's point greatly about how this helps the general consumer connect with the device that they have. And putting it on the iPad, a lot of iPad apps are ported over into Vision Pro, so it's a similar user experience. So versus the iPhone app, you're going to see more similarity in those apps that are ported over from the iPad. So it makes sense having it on the iPad.
Moving on to the next one. There's a new Apple ad out with Jane Goodall, speaking of Jane earlier, that highlights great ideas starting with the Mac. As probably you all know, we lost Jane, I guess was this last week or week before. I've sort of lost track because the days all flow together. And if you are someone who listens to Guy Kawasaki's Remarkable People podcast, he replayed an interview he did with Jane. She was quite a lady. I don't think I really fully appreciated everything about her until I heard a couple of the interviews he's done with her. And just, she really deserved to be in the company of the crazy ones in that ad. But I'm again, I don't know how you all feel about this. I felt like it really is in line with the message Apple's trying to send. The quote from Apple's ad department, I'll read this because I think it's interesting. This campaign celebrates the hardest and most mysterious part of a great idea, its origin, how something is created out of nothing from a blank canvas. That's, kind of, I don't know, it spoke to me a little bit because that's what the Mac has been for me. And Jane did some really amazing things. So, thank you, Cletus. She passed away October 1st. Wow, yeah. It's been 3 weeks already. Woo. So, yeah, anybody see this article or pardon me, this ad or have any strong feelings? Okay. It's worth seeing. It just, it's one.
Go to the link that you provided. You can watch it there too.
Yeah, it's one of those typical for Apple inspirational kind of ads, not just hard sell. And I guess maybe that's why I liked it. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you Mac Voices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.